suppose have some games.
Hey guys, welcome back to Classic G-Body Garage. I got the hood up on the 79 Supreme T-Top. This is the car that's heading to Canada. And as you can see, I've already started pulling parts off this car. I got the grills off of it, headlight buckets out of it. Sold those, and I'm going to continue parting this car out because the guy who bought it, we made a deal where I can pull the parts off this car, the parts that I need, the parts that he does not need, and then he's taking the rest of it up to Canada and going to restore his Cutlass using the body from this car because he wants the T-top roof. So this car, real quick walk around, this is just your standard Cutlass Supreme. Actually, I shouldn't say it is just a standard Supreme because it was ordered just like a Cutlass Calais. It has the T-top roof, it has the bucket seats, console, F41 suspension, I believe, and it is starting to come apart. As you can see, there are no bucket seats in it. I already sold those to my friend. I got the back seat partly out of it, as you can see, and I have another seat in here. Just kind of used it for storage from other things. So I'm going to start pulling this thing apart, but before I pull it apart, I figure I'd throw a battery in it and fire it up one last time. This is the Olds 260 V8. It was a decent runner. It's running on 7 cylinders right now, just because I believe it either has a blown head gasket or something's wrong with it. I at least know the intake gasket's leaking because it really hisses a lot when it runs, and it looks like it's leaking from the intake gasket. But it did run, or it runs. It did drive. I drove it. It drove fine before I had it trailered here. So real quick walk around, just so you guys can see what it looks like together one last time before I start pulling it apart. And I will be selling some of these parts and keeping some of these parts for myself. So just like my other videos, if you guys see any parts you need, give me a shout and I'll let you know if it's still available. So there you go. It's really not that bad of a car. It does have some wear and tear on it, of course. Then again, it is about 35 years old. So there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the battery in it and crank it over. The last time this car ran was when I did the cold start video, when it was extremely cold, below zero. I don't even know how cold it was that day, but I know it was pretty damn cold. The snow was flying, and this 260 fired right up with no problem at all. So here we go. Let me hook up the battery, throw some gas down the carb, and see if it cranks. All right, battery is hooked up. Let's see if it cranks up. Fires right up every time. Runs good. It actually sounds like it's running on all 8. No problems. Listen to that little 260 purr. Lifters are sure making a lot of noise. Typical on these 260s, it's actually the rocker arms. Rocker arms are making noise on this side, really loud. But it actually does not run half bad, actually. So too bad it's gonna go to going to the scrapyard. Another 260 dies. Well, there you go, guys. Well, Jim, if you want to sell the 260 to someone in Canada, you can show them this video and show them that it runs. Got some rocker arms clacking, but it runs fine. And it did drive fine as well. Tranny was in good shape. I drove it quite a few miles before I actually bought the car, up and down the guy's road where he lived out in the country. So there you go. Last time this car will ever run, at least as long as it's in my hands. I'm gonna start robbing parts off of it, start pulling the steering column out of it, and everything that'll keep this car running, I'll be taking off of it. Alright, well that car's been sitting here quite a while. Dropped it right in gear and pulled right forward, no problems at all. Alright, little 260. This is the end of it. Rest in peace, little 260. Woo! One last rev. Alright guys, remember to subscribe. Rest in peace, little 260. Subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And until the next classic G-Body video, I will talk to you next time.